Good morning. My name is Andreas Frank. I'm from Germany. Thanks for giving me the floor. I want to talk more from a helicopter view on AML CFT best practices. First, I would like to start with a statement. The effective enforcement of AML CFT best practices is nothing less than a matter of survival for the democracies. Oh, thank you. Which one? Okay. So is the work of the Parliamentary Security Intelligence Forum under the leadership of Robert Pittenger. It's timely and it's never more important than now. Now I want to explain. Okay, yes. Can you hear me? So, okay. In my presentations given in Paris, Nairobi, and Washington for the forum, I pointed out that if the democracies are not vigilant, then they will be destroyed, like in 1940 when Nazi forces within 6 weeks have beaten the Allied forces, and it took our friends from the US to liberate us. So the Americans liberated us and established a rule-based order. Now, this rule-based order is broken, and you see here, these are starting since the turn of the century that we have an increased attack by hybrid forces from Russia, from China, from other states. And this means that regime and border changes are possible again without paying the price. Another development that is scary for us, it's the downturn in democracies. Since 15 years, it's eroding around the world. Democracies are in a recession. Nearly 75%, according to Freedom House, of the world's population lived in a country that faced deterioration last year. And I see, and I talked to a member here who is talking about crypto, I think the popularity of cryptocurrencies is a clear sign of the distrust of people in their elected government. So we have to change this. Now, even the champion of democracy has a problem, and it's not a partisan, it's a bipartisan problem because it's according to Freedom House and Bertelsmann and other studies, it's a matter for over 10 years. And I think we have to reverse this trend. This month we had a meeting by G7 members and NATO, and it was interesting. It was interesting to see that NATO identified 3 foes. This is Russia, is China, and is climate change. Now, NATO confirmed that hybrid warfare is applied. It's the first time that they're really doing it, and describe the propaganda, deception, sabotage, the hybrid tools that are used. Now, they did not elaborate how to fight this hybrid enemy, and AML CFT was not mentioned in the NATO communique, and I think this is missing. Hybrid methods of warfare have long been used to destabilize adversaries. What is new is the speed, scale, and intensity facilitated by rapid technological change and global interconnectivity. NATO is still a strong deterrent, and partners like Germany have to pay their share, but they don't do it. But I think we live in a different world where military means will be very difficult to apply. And this is the latest figures from SIPRI, from the Swedish Institute. All nuclear powers are increasing their stockpile. China is in the middle of a significant modernization and expansion of its nuclear weapon inventory. In an increasingly polarized world with nuclear weapons, military options for democracies are very limited. Now, here. For Germany, the war in Afghanistan was the longest for 400 years. The human cost of killed and wounded brave Allied servicemen and women and the collateral damage caused to the civilian population is staggering. The US cost of war stands at $2.6 trillion. According to UN report from 2015, Taliban is organized crime. They have an income of several $1 million every month. I would argue that the Taliban are stronger than 20 years ago. An asymmetric war, I feel, cannot be won without the support of the population. That brings me to the next slide. I was reading the reports from the Special Inspector General for Iraq and Afghanistan for many years, and I was amazed. There are several reports, and I'm just copied some of them on my slide. In the audit from 2012, it concluded that 1 billion was transferred out of Iraq each week, of which 800 million was money laundering, transferred illegally under false pretense. Cash counters installed, this is on the right side, at Kabul airport were not used for the intended purpose, and VIPs could continue to bypass the controls. The report says money laundering and bulk cash smuggling were often used to finance terrorist, narcotics, and other illicit operations. I would think to support your enemy is not a good idea. Corruption is a major problem in Iraq and in Afghanistan. I think if we really want to come back with democracies, starting to improve again, and be a model for other countries, we have to win the hearts and minds of the people. Otherwise, we are in a serious problem. Now here, this was the chart where you see in Afghanistan and Iraq. Now, some people will talk about this today or in the afternoon. 80 to 90% of all critical infrastructure is owned and operated by the private sector. They are the first targets of a hybrid campaign. And if we are not careful, like Huawei, Nord Stream, or other possibility that our enemies infiltrate our countries and technologies, then we have a problem with fighting this enemy. So I'm against Nord Stream. I think only a few Germans are, and I'm against using Huawei for the G5 network, so because we are open for infiltration. State of best practices, AML, CFT. I would like to quote David Lewis, Executive Secretary of the Financial Action Task Force, in an interview with the ICIJ. He said, everyone is doing badly. I mean, everybody. We just had yesterday a report from the European Court of Auditors. All European banks have an AML CFT deficit. And this is 30 years after the Financial Action Task Force was founded. We see more money laundering and finance of terror and not less. So you also have seen probably that Malta is on the gray list of the Financial Action Task Force, like Panama. And it's interesting that the list is increasing and not decreasing. This is always a figure that people are surprised, less than 1% of the illicit financial flows are confiscated. Oops, what happened now? Okay. Now, I want to show you, something I always like to show is a hybrid warfare is truly weaponization of chaos. I think we could compare it to a Third World War, where money, disinformation, false information, sabotage, when we look at cybercrime, is the weapon of what we've seen in World War II and World War I. So we have to change our concept of fighting wars. Now, this is an issue. What I don't understand is we have seen very courageous whistleblowers showing us how the crime enabler provide the obfuscation service, and the world has seen it, but you cannot tell me which one of these leaks has really helped to change the world. These obfuscation surveys, offshore structures still exist. I think there are more, not less. And I want to show you here, Panama Papers or Mossack Fonseca papers. We got Putin and Xi family with a pen stone. We saw where they have the money, but we didn't react. Why not? I mean, Putin is not impressed by calling him up and say, we sent some tanks from Germany. He says, you tried unsuccessfully before, but he's impressed when we go after his money. His net worth is estimated of Putin between 70 billion, this is from the Swiss, up to 200 billion by Boulder. The Xi family has some less money. Their estimated net worth is 1.5 billion. Still money they don't want to lose. No. See, this all works with follow the money, confiscate when the dollar is the dominant currency in the world. Still 88% of world trade is done in dollars. If we lose this possibility, then we have a problem. You know, this chart I showed last time, I want to show a new one. This is the new Russian wealth fund. You can also call him Putin fund with 600 billion. And they excluded the US dollar from being used as assets. It's euros that are still with 40%, and we have to make sure that we are not divided on this issue. Because, I mean, Putin should not get out of US dollar assets and go into euro assets. We have to make it the same way. You know, if he doesn't behave, we can use this weapon. Now, here is another issue that is very important for us. When you think about debt to GDP, you always think about the third world, maybe Africa, maybe Asia. But the deep red, these are the democracies. And their debt to GDP is over 100%, increasing fast because of Corona. Well, if we lose the possibility to refinance in our own currency, like countries, Argentina and others, we have a serious problem also on the political side. Now, last not least, you know, it was something NATO said, and then I stopped. Climate change is for NATO a threat to peace. And when you look at the World Bank report that alone in illegal fishing, logging, and wildlife, there is 1 to 2 trillion earned by criminals. The only way to get the money from them is by anti-money laundering. How to stop them? Because I don't know how else can you stop the people from doing this business. So thanks a lot. Oh, yeah, okay.